This episode is sponsored by Mack Weldon. Stay tuned later in the show for a special offer from them. But now, there's a lot of tech news.
Yeah, this week the Game Developers Conference is happening up in San Francisco, and just 2 days in, it's already proven to be one of the most interesting gaming conventions in quite a while. All thanks to a rather huge announcement from Google. They're throwing their hat in the gaming ring in a big way that has the potential to turn much of the industry on its head. So let's get into it. What is Stadia, and what's so darn special about it?
Isn't this just OnLive or whatever? What is that? That's what it was, right?
Yeah, OnLive. Yeah.
Well, it's not that, despite all of the memes and weird gatekeeping that was happening today from a company that was entering the gaming space.
Right, yeah.
Well, okay, first off, this new platform from Google. Back in October, they debuted Project Stream, which was basically a closed beta of the cloud gaming platform that they were working on. People who managed to get in on the beta were able to play Assassin's Creed Odyssey in a Chrome tab at 1080p, 60 frames per second, with the entire processing workload being handled in the cloud by Google. No need for a powerful computer, just a decent internet connection. This was, of course, not the first time a company had tried the concept. Like we mentioned, OnLive, they tried the same thing almost 10 years ago, and that failed. PlayStation Now has offered it for the last 3 years, and most recently a company called Blade has been selling essentially a modern version of OnLive called Blade Shadow.
Yeah, what Google is offering with Stadia is similar to all that, but it also takes it to the next level. Cloud gaming has always been an inevitability. You look at what Netflix and Spotify have done for movies and music, and it's obvious that someday the same thing is going to happen to gaming. The hurdles to get there, though, are significantly bigger and more complicated than music and movies.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways, it's not really a job for a startup, it's a job for a huge established tech company with the money and resources and existing infrastructure to make cloud gaming something that not only works, but is also something people are going to want to try.
Yeah, easily accessible without having to, now they haven't set a price point yet, but without having to get any hardware or anything like that, and then without the need of a company to build up all this infrastructure that needs to be in place for something
Yeah, a
important.
company that already has servers all over the world.
And that you already use the browser that it's going to be available on.
Yeah.
And it's about ease of use, and adoption is the fact that anything could ever get adopted is reliant on people being able to just jump right into it.
Yeah.
Now, the one big point of failure with every attempt at a cloud gaming platform, it's, of course, internet bandwidth. If your connection sucks, as it does with many ISPs in this country and around the world, you're probably not going to have a great time.
Yeah.
But Google has servers all over the world, which ensures that as long as you're not in the middle of nowhere, you'll be relaying data back and forth with a server that's not too far away. And through YouTube, they've already got a pretty great streaming video infrastructure in place. Still, people who previewed Project Stream last year said that maintaining a good connection was the biggest issue with the platform. And I can attest to that because I tried PlayStation Now, and this was a couple of years ago, but it wasn't great.
Yeah.
It would stutter, and that ruins the game.
Yeah.
One fucking stutter, and you're like, I'm done.
Yeah.
So they have to really make this perfect out of the gate.
Mm-hmm.
But when Project Stream worked, it worked great, apparently. But when the connection slowed down, the game would turn into an ugly, pixelated mess. And sometimes the connection would drop entirely. And it's
a pretty big deal breaker.
I am trusting that Google has worked out all the kinks in this, because if you debut something like this and you get these hiccups right out of the gate, even on a really good connection, people are just gonna be like, it's done.
Yeah. So yeah, even the slight possibility of that happening, it's enough to make the real gamers of the world who've got their own big, beefy gaming machines with rainbow colors all over it.
Yeah.
It's gonna make them dismiss cloud gaming entirely, like they always have. But this isn't really for them though, at least not initially. It's for people who want to play current gen games at ultra settings, but for whatever reason, money being a big one, don't have the hardware to do that. And I don't know, we've got no idea how many people fit that profile of being really interested in gaming, but not wanting to invest any money in it. But like, we're gonna assume Google has done enough market research on it to justify what they're doing here, because
even if you have an Xbox One X or a PS4, like a lot of the games don't run at 60 frames a second, and even consoles are expensive. So this is kind of bringing a AAA gaming experience to anyone. Because in their debut, they said that they went and bought the cheapest, slowest computer, and it was running the game perfectly fine on that.
Right, because it's and I think there is probably a lot of people, especially if you look at the success of the NES Classic, PlayStation Classic. I think there's a lot of people who maybe outgrew their like gamer phase, but still want to be able to play new games when they come out.
Without putting down a bunch of money to do so.
They'll see an ad for a new game and be like, I would love to play that, but I have no idea how, and nor do I want to drop several $100s on a console or computer just to play this one game I'm interested in.
Yeah.
But yeah, wisely though, Google is looking beyond the basic cloud gaming functionality of that, and they're actually they're pointing out ways that Stadia is actually capable of doing things that the home traditional PC setup actually can't do.
For one thing, these cloud computers are extremely powerful with computing power greater than the Xbox One and PS4 combined. And GDC is a developers conference after all.
Developers.
So a huge part of this presentation was pitching Stadia to developers to make games specifically for it. Google also has their own in-house development studio with doing the same thing. Now with Stadia, where every user is essentially renting out one powerful rack at a massive server farm, multiplayer gaming has the potential to run much more smoothly than the traditional model. And multiplayer games developed specifically for Stadia could potentially feature thousands of players on the same server and giant maps that are fully destructible. It's like what Microsoft dreamed of doing with Crackdown 3, but could never, just failed in all aspects.
Yeah, but I had never thought of that, but it's like, doesn't matter. In fact, the more players, the better, because that's more individual machines taking up some of the workload.
Yeah.
This has the massively multiplayer potential of this, I think, is the most interesting aspect of it.
Yeah, it's
because it's pretty much limitless.
On the face value of it, you're looking at it, and you're like, oh, OnLive did this or whatever, and PlayStation now does this, but Google's doing it in a way that's different and is going to make things specifically for this platform very cool in theory. This is all in theory.
I'm telling you, and I'm sure they have a MMO in development right now.
Yeah.
All it's going to take is one really good MMO on this platform to come out and do something that's been fucking impossible, and people are going to be like, yeah, whatever, I'll drop the
Second Life
whatever
2.
the price is. Yeah, even something like that. Yeah. So anyway, yeah, games developed for Stadia or Stadia. How do the fuck?
I think it's Stadia.
Not a great name, and not a great logo either. I'll say that right now.
They did it because of Assassin's Creed. They're like, we need a Greek name because we played the Greek game on the test thing.
Yeah. Well, they're opening, these tech companies are all so ridiculous. They're like, since the dawn of time, people have played games and watched games.
I'll tell you what,
through history.
My favorite part about that, like, up its own ass Silicon Valley style trailer is the fact that they used the score from the farting corpse movie Swiss Army Man.
Yes, they did.
Like
Manchester Orchestra.
The first thing I think about when I saw it, I was like, oh man, Daniel Radcliffe like propelling himself through water with his ass as a corpse.
Yeah.
Here we go, new gaming platform.
Yeah. So
through the dawn of time.
Google, they're bringing something to gaming that we've missed for a long time, and that's puffery at the big convention. Well, anyway, yeah, games developers Stadia. They can feature a live real-time style transfer thing, like what you see in apps like Prisma, where you basically provide a source image, like Starry Night.
Yeah.
Literally anything, and you say, make the game look like this.
It's Instagram filters for your game.
So that's something developers can do to add an art style to a game that it is pretty much impossible to do on a single desktop gaming PC. Like, you just wouldn't be able to do that without cloud computing. Other interesting features include a new twist on split-screen gaming, where you'll be able to see the POV of your multiplayer teammates in full resolution, in real time. There's also the ability to share save points from an exact moment of gameplay. So like literally like split second, like, oh God, and this is when the zombie's about to bite my neck. Anyone else, you think you could do better in this situation than me? Here's the exact moment. And you press a button and you're in it. There's also the ability to join a YouTube streamer's game at the push of a button. So if you're playing, I mean, it would have to be a certain type of game, but if you're streaming the game on YouTube through Stadia, your viewer has the option to like join a queue.
It's that problem that we had with like Wreckfest, where it's like, oh, we have to create our own server and like do all this stuff. No, not anymore.
And there's also like the ability to pull up tutorials for wherever you are in-game using Google Assistant.
I love that Machinima literally invented that like 6 years ago and did nothing with it. Like literally an integration with Xbox where they had their own app where you could be like, help me with this, and it would pull up a tutorial from a Machinima partner. and show you that part of the thing.
I don't even remember this.
It was literally just pissed away.
Well, yeah.
So were many things, but
yeah, I mean, a big thing here is it sounds like streaming your gameplay to YouTube is going to be incredibly easy, and it'll also be handled entirely in the cloud. This is the best news for YouTube Live and YouTube Gaming since it launched, because that service is, I mean, we use it, obviously.
Yeah.
We're the greatest strength on there, but it's kind of floundered in like finding a way to differentiate itself from Twitch and not just kind of seem like a copycat. So
this is put a Twitch button on that controller.
They will never do that.
Yeah.
So this is huge for YouTube Live.
Yeah. Now they'll also be selling a controller made specifically for Stadia that reduces latency by connecting directly to your Wi-Fi router, bypassing your computer entirely, and allowing you to easily play on a phone, tablet, Chromecast TV, a Chrome tablet, whatever, without much trouble. The controller also features buttons for Google Assistant and a capture button to instantly record your gameplay. And while Project Stream was limited to 1080p 60 frames per second, when Stadia launches, you'll be able to play games at 4K 60 FPS with both HDR and surround sound. And Google says they're already laying the groundwork for 8K 120 frames per second streaming down the road, which is
ridiculous.
It's hard to wrap your head around because we haven't even had our hands on the initial product first, but at least they're looking towards the future.
I mean, that's huge.
Yeah. This is gonna fuck ISPs up so bad, because this is going to bring and we've already been going there with streaming movies and Hulu and Netflix and all that stuff, where like the typical American family probably doesn't hit data caps all the time. And I think that the ISPs kind of like look at the market research and say, where's the bottom barrel that we can hit that like 70% of families aren't gonna hit? With this, there's gonna be like public outcry because some kid's gonna be fucking streaming 8K, whatever, and like one day his dad's gonna be like, you son of a bitch, you've already hit the data cap.
Yeah, well, I don't think the ISPs give a fuck.
No, they don't.
They never have.
But public pressure will change it, and that's the only way it ever does.
Public pressure has been on the ISPs for 20 years, and
first
hasn't really done shit.
First they came for my regular data, but then they came for my games.
My gamer data. Anyway, they say Stadia will be released sometime before the end of the year in the US, Canada, the UK, and Europe, though they haven't said how much it'll cost, nor have they given any indication about what their library of game titles is going to look like. So the cost and the available games, that's going to really be what makes or breaks this for a lot of people. So far, though, this is the first cloud gaming pitch that we've ever seen that's made us actually sit up and feel like we're actually looking into the future a bit.
Yeah.
Biggest hurdle, though, again, internet speeds. Ideally, at this point, 2019, year of our Lord, we'd be living in a world where gigabit connections were just a normal thing.
With no data caps.
Yeah, but ISPs, especially in this country, they're terrible people, and they've been very slow to adapt to even current data needs. The Netflix thing, again, they were just absolutely not ready for it, and I can't remember if they were specifically caught like throttling Netflix data, but it's...
Well, Netflix made that whole website to test and make sure that they weren't doing it. In my opinion, I don't think Google's going to charge for this. I think that they are going to have a deal with game developers, because you've obviously seen in the presentation the ease of use of buying a game and playing it instantly. And so I think that they will probably fund it in that way, plus the amount of stuff uploaded to YouTube. I think this is going to be a free app or whatever, and then you buy things within it, like a Steam store or something like that.
I mean, I can see there being games that are in particular like free to play at a given point.
You think there'll be a membership fee for it?
Yeah. This is a lot of money. Like just they developed a new processor with AMD to run these systems. Like I don't think they're just going to eat the cost.
And we know at least a couple games. I mean, Ubisoft looks like it's going to be a big partner. Doom Eternal was pretty much confirmed for it.
Yeah.
Plus, it looks like the old Doom's going to be on it. Maybe a test case. But it'll be cool to see what else they do with it.
I mean, when this comes out, I'm definitely going to try it. Hopefully there's like a trial membership. I assume there would be. But I'm intrigued.
Yeah. It's interesting.
Yeah, I'm like cautiously intrigued. Because again, this is 10 years from now, mark my fucking words, this will be normal. Yeah. This is going to be like how gaming works. And the people who still own computers and run things locally.
Enthusiasts.
Yeah, they're going to be the enthusiasts.
Yeah.
The same with the people that still
drive
their own gas-powered automobiles.
Yeah.
You old-fashioned weirdo.
Get out of here. Now, cloud gaming it very much seems to be in the future. And as evidence for that, Google, they're not even the only big company that's potentially announcing a cloud gaming service at this year's GDC. On Thursday, Microsoft is apparently going to be presenting Project xCloud, which is an even worse name.
Yeah.
And before that, Tencent will also be presenting their cloud gaming platform, but it's China. So don't expect this to go away anytime soon.
Yeah, it's in a lot of ways, it's like what VR was 4 or 5 years ago, and that didn't turn out to be the perfect future that a lot of people wanted, but there were a ton of advances made in VR at the time, and I think this has more of a chance of catching on than VR. But this seems to be the thing that all these big companies are putting a lot of time and energy
VR had
into.
the same problem we just talked about. Cost and hardware.
Yeah.
It's bulky, it's messy. I know that they have better solutions now, but the first adopters were the ones that were going to define what VR could become. Mm-hmm. And you had to have a lot of money and a lot of room for hardware and setting things up. Even the PlayStation VR, it took up space, and although that did sell really well, it's all... Tencent and Microsoft, it'll be interesting to see how they make theirs different from Google's, but I think Google has the best shot of bringing this to a mass audience that will either adopt it or it's going to fuck up really bad.
The YouTube thing, I think that's the killer feature, because you'll be watching any video of a game being played, there will be a button right there. It's like, let's play this game. And they say within 5 seconds in a new tab, you'll be in the game already. Like, that's huge. Like, even with a good internet connection, first of all, like, you gotta download like 60 gigs sometimes just to start playing a game.
All the hard drive companies are sweating.
Yeah. Well, no one needs me anymore. Anyways, before we get into even more tech news, it's time for a word from this week's sponsor, Mack Weldon. They are a premium men's essentials brand that believes in smart design, premium fabrics, and simple shopping. They're betting that they're the most comfortable underwear, socks, shirts, undershirts, hoodies, and sweatpants that you will ever wear. If they don't leave you fully satisfied with your first pair, you can keep it, and they'll still refund you, no questions asked.
And once those Mack Weldons are in your dresser, you look at them, you say, I want to wear them. 5 seconds later, they're on.
Wow.
Yeah. Wave of the future.
Cloud underwear.
Yeah. For the extra sweaty boys and girls out there, though, Mack Weldon has a line of silver underwear and shirts. And these are naturally antimicrobial, meaning they eliminate odor.
Last time I accidentally said they were naturally microbial, which is the opposite.
Oh, yeah.
It means they're like a petri dish.
It's the opposite of that.
I'm issuing a correction. They are antimicrobial.
No, they eliminate odor.
Yeah.
And not only does Mack Weldon's entire line of basics look good, they also perform well no matter what the occasion. Work, exercise, going on dates, you name it. And if you visit MackWeldon.com and use our promo code NewsDay, all one word, at checkout, they'll take 20% off your first order. Again, that's MackWeldon.com. Use promo code NewsDay, all one word, at checkout, and you'll save 20% off the best underwear and socks of your life. And as fast as they go on, they can come right off, too, if that date went well.
I'm a big fan. I picked up some underwear. I also got their socks are probably the most comfortable socks I've ever worn.
I love a good sock.
Yeah. Everyone always goes cheap on socks. No, invest in a good pair of socks. Your feet will thank you.
Yes. I wear my good socks now.
Anyway, moving on now to some dumb Twitter news. California Representative Devon Nunez has filed a $250 million lawsuit against Twitter.com for a variety of dumb reasons.
Didn't we just talk about the Streisand effect yesterday?
Yeah, well, it's the Streisand effect. It's been around for like 20 years, but more people don't learn that lesson, I guess. So anyway, for one, he's claiming that Twitter systematically shadow bans conservatives to hide their posts, which is provably false by simply opening the Twitter app and scrolling for a few seconds. I mean, they did technically for like a day downrank certain conservative people from like search, but the reason for that was hilarious. I believe it was, they were like identifying toxic accounts and downranking those, but then as part of it, they applied it so like if a bunch of those toxic accounts were all following one person, they would downrank the person they were following as well.
You get a score, just like in China.
Yeah, but they undid that, and it's like, just go on Twitter. The conservatives are loud and proud.
Yeah.
Go on the Twitter news, click on any news story, and just look at the replies.
Yeah.
No one's being silenced. Also, the fun part of this case, has to do with the fact that Devon Nunez totally sucks in a bunch of different ways that I'm not going to get into here, but the guy sucks, and of course various Twitter users have made posts about how much Devon Nunez sucks. It's a free country. You can do that. But for Devon Nunez, this is defamation.
And to be fair, the lawsuit does show examples of people saying things about Nunez that may qualify as defamation, though the main account it focuses on is actually the account of a Republican strategist. But the suit also hilariously includes examples of tweets from accounts like Devon Nunez Mom, which mocked the congressman in character as his disappointed mother, and David Nunez's Cow, which mocked Nunez in character as a cow. Now that Devon Nunez Cow account only had about 1,000 followers leading up to the lawsuit being filed, but now it has over 150,000 followers. Streisand effect. Likewise, the announcement of this lawsuit has resulted in Twitter in general taking the absolute piss out of Devon Nunez, a U.S. congressman who clearly does not understand that people have been mocking politicians for thousands of years. So this should be a fun lawsuit to follow as it progresses.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure in Pompeii they found graffiti evidence. It's like, fuck Nero.
What was the one from his mom that was like, Devon, you're pissing people off. Come home for dinner.
No more Minecraft.
Yeah, no more Minecraft. In a lawsuit, it says that, which is amazing.
Yeah. It's just so funny. The same lawsuit, he's like, they're silencing conservatives, but also, can you please silence this specific conservative who's saying mean things about me?
Yes. Again, self-awareness.
Yeah. So yeah, that'll be fun to watch. Yeah. But speaking of Twitter and lawsuits, last week we talked about how the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission is not too happy with Elon Musk lately because as part of his big settlement with them last year, he promised to not tweet about Tesla's business without getting those tweets pre-approved by his lawyers, and it seems like he might not be doing that. That, of course, stemmed from Musk's tweets last summer about taking Tesla private at $420 a share because the funding was secured, which the SEC, they saw that as securities fraud because none of what Musk said was actually true, and his tweets actually affected Tesla's stock price. So, in the end, Musk agreed in his settlement to not tweet about Tesla's business without pre-approval. But it turns out he absolutely has not been doing this, so naturally the SEC is pretty mad at him.
Elon! Again? Now, in particular, they're mad about a set of tweets last month about Tesla's production numbers, which Musk himself later corrected because the information was misleading. They looked into it and found that Musk wasn't getting pre-approval on any of his tweets, so they made the rare decision to ask a judge to hold Musk in contempt, which would open him up to more punishments in addition to the ones from last year. And Musk, for his part, said this was an unconstitutional attack on his right to free speech. And this week, in response to that, the SEC wrote this in a statement.
Musk's unchecked and misleading tweets about Tesla are what precipitated the SEC's charges, and the pre-approval requirement was designed to protect against reckless conduct by Musk going forward. It is therefore stunning to learn that at the time of filing the request to hold Musk in contempt, Musk had not sought pre-approval for a single one of the numerous tweets about Tesla he published in the months since the court-ordered pre-approval policy went into effect. Yeah, I know I said I was going to do it. But,
it takes too much time.
Right?
Approval takes forever.
So I don't know, Elon, it sounds like they're pretty serious. Might be time to just do the thing that you promised the SEC that you would do in exchange for not being completely booted
Throw the
from your
phone away
company.
and land more rockets on docks and stuff.
Or,
the fun stuff.
Or don't even throw the phone away. Just tweet about anime or just all the other stuff you like. All the stuff that you don't have to run the tweets by your lawyer about. Come on, it's not that hard, and it's probably not worth fighting.
Who owns Crunchyroll?
At this point, I don't know.
Well, we gotta invest in that company anytime he tweets about it, because that's the real stock that he's gonna affect.
In any case, doesn't sound like Musk's backing down, so it'll be very fun and exciting to see how Musk versus SEC round 2 goes. This is so pointless.
Yeah.
What?
They're the undercard for the new Logan Paul fight. Musk versus one lawyer from the SEC in the ring.
Yeah.
And they both are wearing kigurumis.
That would be one fun way to settle it.
Yeah. In other news, remember MySpace? No? Come on. There's at least half of you that know about MySpace, right? I've seen our analytic numbers. You're somewhat old.
Yeah, you do.
It is understandable, though, if some people don't remember or know what MySpace was, but MySpace was, for a brief and magical time in the early 2000s, the premier social network before Facebook came along and took over the throne. By around 2008, MySpace was in decline and most people stopped using it. but over the years it's been passed around by various owners and somehow remained online. Justin Timberlake was one of those owners.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Tom is sailing the oceans, taking beautiful pictures.
Yeah. I always have to think of Tom when I look at these egomaniacs like Mark Zuckerberg. I'm like, Tom,
he's the perfect example of what you should do with your life.
The guy made an ungodly amount of money.
He said, fuck it.
He could have been like, all right, now step 2 is start my next company. He was like, no, wait.
I'm just going to live in Hawaii for 2 weeks and take pictures, and then I'm going to go to, I don't know, Bali.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to go to Australia.
I'm just going to travel around the world continuously for the rest of my life and never have to worry about anything ever again. And that's what he's done, and I respect the hell out of him.
I stand Tom. We're very jealous, Tom.
Yeah.
But he's a great example. Anyways, MySpace, their biggest strength during the heyday was its embedded music player, which allowed artists to conveniently host their songs and tour dates and whatnot, all on one convenient page. Also, the most ridiculous amount of, there was never a point in history, nor will I think there ever will be again, where so many bands existed.
Yeah.
Because anyone with a 4-track recorder in a garage was a MySpace band.
Oh, I had multiple MySpace bands.
Yeah.
It was great.
Yeah, you just put it up there. It was convince people to put your song on their page.
It was fucking groundbreaking at the time.
Every person's page had a music player on it.
Yeah, you could record a song and upload it to the internet, and that was one of the only ways to do that back then.
Yeah. Whatever, and then you could also do animated GIF, little sparkly roses.
You could make your profile as hideous as you wanted through HTML customization.
Yeah.
Come on, Facebook.
And that's not even taking into consideration your horrible emo phase that existed there.
Yeah.
So, MySpace, it was, after this whole after no one was using it, it was pretty much solely focused on music, but it's unclear who, if anyone, was still visiting at all.
Yeah, so one piece of evidence pointing to the possibility that absolutely fucking no one is visiting MySpace is the news this week that at some point last year, during an attempted server migration, MySpace permanently lost all of their data from before 2015. And it took months for anyone to even notice. Actually, it sounds like it might have taken over a year for anyone to really notice, as there's a few posts scattered around internet forums from February 2018 about people losing access to their MySpace data. So that is 12 years of content wiped from the internet permanently, and barely anyone even noticing for over a year, which is incredible.
Yeah. There's also some theories out there that MySpace actually deleted all that old shit intentionally and just blamed it on a server migration issue, and that would make sense too. There's not much point in hosting all these thousands of terabytes of data that no one's using.
It's just there.
Yeah, it is some very sad news for the early 2000s alternative music scene, which very much made its home on MySpace and has now been erased from existence. Although
some people might
Hollywood Undead is still touring to this day.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there you go.
Me personally, I'm pretty sure I went back and deleted all my early 2000s social media years ago, my LiveJournal.
Well, that's good because Russia owns LiveJournal now.
Yeah, I think I was pretty proactive a decade ago, deleting that stuff that at that time was already old as hell.
I'm sure I've still got a cool picture on hotornot.com though.
Yeah.
Or Rate My Poo. My BM's out there in the world.
Yeah, Rate My Poo is great.
People are rating it right now.
Is that one still around?
The original social network, Rate My Poo.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's pour one out for one of the early 2000s scene kids. I guess we're pouring out a make up your mind in your head, but a Four Loko, probably.
Yeah, Four Loko without.
What was the orange flavored one?
Oh God, I don't know.
Sparks.
Sparks, yeah. Pour out a Sparks for MySpace.
Yeah, do it.
Yeah. Well, yeah, very sad, but life goes on.
Tom's having a blast though.
Yeah, Tom. He didn't even answer the phone for that one. I haven't worked there in 15 years.
Who gives a shit?
I'm on the top of a volcano.
Tom, we need a password. No.
Nah. I'm still working on my goal of fucking a supermodel in every country on Earth. I'm almost there, guys. I'm not picking up the phone.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, that's it for this week's Tech News Day.
Yeah.
MacWeldon.com, Tech News Day.
No, Newsday, one word.
News, whatever.
It's the link down there.
Yeah.
Watch our just extensive coverage of the latest conspiracy theory documentary taking YouTube by storm.
Shane Dawson did what?
Where we investigate whether or not Shane Dawson fucked a cat because he admitted it. So, case closed, I guess.
And also Egg Boy.
Yeah, Egg Boy's in there too.
Someone ended their Patreon subscription to us because they didn't like how favorably we spoke of Egg Boy. I'm sorry.
Well, if you want to join the Patreon to make up for it, the link's also in the description. and just do that to make up for the one that we lost. Thank you guys for joining us, and we'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.